Hello everyone, this is J. Daniel Woodstock and welcome to Woodstock Games YouTube channel. You may have tuned in because I am going to tell you the plight of a small business owner, board game creator that has been duped by AI. This is a pretty hot topic in the board game community, whether to use AI or not use AI and whatnot. And so I'm going to let you know how my business has personally been affected by that. But before I get into that, you might need a couple updates on where I am so you can truly understand how AI has really affected me. Now, uh, if you didn't know, I published a game called Dice Fights a little over a year and a half ago at this point. It's done incredibly well. We ran it on Kickstarter. We've been funded. We printed 1,500 copies. We only have about 80 left, and I foresee selling out at our next event we're going to called FanX. If you're not from Utah, you've never heard anything like that, FanX is essentially Comic-Con in Utah. It's extremely large, and it's fantastic. If you're going to be there, come find us at a booth. We have secured a booth. It'll be exciting. Whether we have copies of Dice Fights or not are to be determined. Now, shortly after releasing Dice Fights, we started work on our next game called Terraform. That's this one right here. Now, Terraform was my very first board game I ever started designing. Now, Terraform's a little bit more complicated than Dice Fights. Dice Fights is a two-player dueling style game. It's an engine builder with dice. You start with 5 dice, and as you go trying to take out the other person, by the end of the game, you're rolling 15 to 20 dice at once. Really fun, really quick. Learn it in less than 5 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes to play. Now, Terraform, a little more complicated. It's 2 to 4 players. It's a strategy game, kind of race to the finish strategy game where you are creatures that are trying to find all of their lost magical items that they have. And whoever can find those first and get back to start wins the game. Now, it's about a 45 minutes to an hour gameplay and about 15-20 minutes to learn. So really exciting, really fun. We've been really enjoying that. I originally did all the art myself and some of the betas of that, but I knew I'm not an artist. I knew we couldn't keep up with that, and so I started looking for art. Now, this is where AI comes into play. There is a big controversy really everywhere in the world on whether AI art is legit and whether you should be using it, especially in a commercial purpose like I was intending. Some people use it just to help their prototyping phase because you don't want to spend your whole budget while prototyping. Some people avoid it at all costs. One of the big reasons why it's kind of looked down upon in a lot of ways is because AI, how it's generally constructed, it sources a lot of material from the internet, open source, whatever the AI program allows the AI to go get. When you ask for an image, it goes and gets existing art and smashes it together. Now, that existing art, they didn't necessarily get permission for that, even though it is in the public domain. They're not getting credit for the art they have done. And so a lot of artists out there are really upset about that, and rightly so. Now, whether you think it's ethical or not ethical to use AI art, as a business owner, if my whole target demographic of board gamers generally don't like AI art, I'm going to make a pretty heavy, I'm going to try not to use it. All right. So that's exactly what we sought out to do. We went to a website called Fiverr. We originally reached out to a lot of people in the US. We realized that they're way out of our budget and that they're totally worth that. And so I was given kind of the idea to go to a website called Fiverr where you can get help from people out of the country. Fiverr is a really good source because artists getting paid in Sri Lanka, that's one of the places we've gotten art from, don't they can make a living wage off of a lot less money, and so I can kind of use that to my benefit to try to get a game out as kind of a poor board game designer that I am. So that's exactly what I did. I reached out to a guy. We asked for a bunch of art. We started out with these landscape cards. These basically take over the whole board by the end, and I loved them. They look so pretty, digital art, and I specifically was paying an artist to do these, and I really love those. Now, the next step was getting the animals. Now, the animals was a lot more difficult, and I attributed it to uh, this guy's main thing being landscape art, but he said he could do it, and they kind of came out a little weird, but we did some revisions and we got them to kind of where we wanted them. And then I asked for the box art here. Now, box art in board games can really make or break the sales of a board game. It is so very important. Just looking at some of these boxes over here, they really draw your eye. They're really colorful. And I was just not super happy with what this came out to be. I wanted those really distinct, beautiful images to be combined and whatnot. And when I got this, I was just so confused because I was wondering how such beautiful art could turn into this, right? Now, some people say it still looks good, whatever, but I was a little saddened, but I decided we wanted to push forward to it. We're going to a convention called Level Up Con, where that's in New Jersey. A friend of mine, Wes Todd, asked us if we wanted to go, and I said absolutely. I really wanted to get this prototype done before I went there so I could showcase it and kind of start promoting it. By the way, there is a Kickstarter page for this if you did want to go follow it. We will hopefully eventually get that published at some point. Now, some of the so I went to my graphic designer. I showed him all the art. I had him start looking through this, and this is when the first AI thing came up. He was like, "Hey, like these landscape cards, there's some red flags here. Did he use AI?" And he wasn't even against it. He was just curious. He's like, "It looked like he used AI," and I'm like, "No, I don't think so." And then he looked at the animals, and he's like, "This definitely looks like AI." He pointed out some things with it. And then he looked at the box, and he's like, "Yeah, this is kind of weird. Not really sure what's going on with that." But we pushed forward and we got it there, and I was in denial. I was like, "There's no way." I specifically went to an artist to do that. And then I went to New Jersey and I got very similar feedback. People were like, "This kind of looks like AI art." And I'm like, "No, this is the name of the artist. Don't say that. Don't say that." Because there's a lot of very passionate people in the board game industry that if they see you have used AI, they will like X you from the thing. So I'm like, "Please don't put the black dot on me. I've been trying my best." Now, even though we went overseas to get this art, I still paid a couple $1,000s to get all this art done. And so to hear the AI was potentially used was really devastating for me because a lot of the profits from Dice Fights had gone into the development of Terraform. So the launch of Terraform was kind of vital to Woodstock Games' survival. And now I'm being told that AI was used and that I might need to redo all of the art on my game. Now, I reached out to the artist and I was like, "Hey, did you use AI art?" And he said, "Oh, no, absolutely not. I did not do that." So maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I know quite a few artists out there do what's called an AI assisted art, where they kind of get the original photo put together and then they go in, they adjust it and make adjustments from there. And that's what a lot of people have told me probably happened. So now I'm in a hard spot. We're very low on funds. Uh, don't really have enough money to do a whole new reprint, a whole new art. of that. Art is expensive, though we did find a new artist based out of Cedar City, Utah, that we've been working with. Ariel's her name, and she's been doing fantastic things. Really excited to keep working with her. But we've come to a hard conclusion. Do we put our funds and money and effort to do a reprint of Dice Fights, or do we push forward and try to publish Terraform? Uh, what do you think we should do? It's really hard. It's really devastating that that happened to us. It's really going to slow down our production of it. On top of that, we just had a beautiful baby girl by the name of Evie Woodstock. So that's been kind of happening in the middle of it. So everything's kind of slowed down. We originally were wanting to run Terraform on Kickstarter come April, and that's obviously haven't happened. But now we've officially decided that we're going to switch our gears. We're going to try to do another reprint of Dice Fights, and at the same time do an expansion of Dice Fights called Dice Fights Steal or Heal. The name is still in the works with that. We should see a Kickstarter pre-launch page soon. So hopefully I'll have a second print of Dice Fights shortly, and then hopefully the revenue from that can help us finish out Terraform. And that's kind of what's been going on in the Woodstock Games world, where we've been, what's been going on. The new baby is very exciting. The idea of the expansion of Dice Fights is very exciting. Terraform has been a little disappointing because of the art situation. I'm not really sure what to do about the art situation. If you have any thoughts or ideas, please let us know. And if you've watched this far, please remember to like and subscribe, as that helps us out a bunch. We've just gotten over 500 subscribers, which honestly I thought would never happen. I thought I was just shouting into the wind with these videos, and most likely no one's watching it at this point anyway. So thank you if you did make it this far. Love you guys so much, and go check out our website, woodstockgames.com. Bye.